Hello guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Alexa, and in today's video I will be talking to you guys about the 26 books that I read in March. Now this month I read literally the same amount of books that I read in January. I know this is, by the way, I know that this is my first wrap up of the year. I'm fully aware of that. The January wrap up was filmed but never posted, and the February wrap up never happened because I was on vacation. But yeah, I cannot wait to get into the books that I read this month. It was a really good reading month, not only with the number of books, which it was a great reading month, but also with like the amount of 5 stars I found. Now I will say I usually before I changed my rating system, I had more 5-star books per month. Well, maybe not more, but like the ratio 5-star to like anything else was bigger. But I'm more picky now with my 5 stars, and I found some new favorite books, favorite series in this month. So it is like, it was a really good reading month. So I'm gonna start with the stats that we have for this month. I've decided to every month separate it and tell you guys the stats of like physical books, audiobooks, ebooks, the genres, and then if it was a new read or a reread, and then like the pages that I read. So in the month of March, I read 8 physical books, 4 audiobooks, and 14 ebooks. 17 books were romance, 9 were fantasy. 24 of them were new reads, 2 of them were rereads. And then I read, for the pages, 10,356 pages. That's a lot of pages. That is an average of like 350 pages per day ish. But yeah, it is time to get into the books. So I'm kind of gonna do it differently than I usually do. Usually I would do like physical books and ebooks that I read, but this time, or like books that I don't physically have on me. But this time I decided that I'm gonna do it in a way where I go in order that I read them. But if it's like I read a series or multiple books in a series this month, then I'm just gonna talk about the whole series at once. And the first that we have here is the Bonds That Tie series by J. Bree. So this series has like the books. The first book is Broken Bonds, then it's Savage Bonds, then it's Blood Bonds, Forced Bonds, Tragic Bonds, Unbroken Bonds. 6 books. First one is around 290 pages, and then the rest are between 540 and 545 pages. So I read a lot. This series, the second I read the first book, I was obsessed with. I knew it was going to become my personality for a little while. I love that book series so much. Like honestly, I finished it about a week. Yep, I finished it about a week ago, and I already want to reread it. I loved it so much. The first one I rated a 4-star. The first 2 I rated 4 stars. The first one I will say, perfect introduction for a series. Now, because it wasn't a 5-star or anything, because like you're introducing to a series, there's no closure that you get in the book because it is less than like 300 pages. But it's a nice, quick introduction to the series, the characters, and the world. Like I felt like it really perfectly set up the rest of the books, and that's why it was like a 4-star. The second one, it was a 4-star just because I was like, okay, sometimes we maybe should be getting to a point where something is happening, but like take your time. I just felt like it was a lot of like the guys were like really brooding, and she was kind of like, stay away from me, and like not telling them anything, and it was kind of like, girl, you're gonna have to tell them why at some point. I can't really say anything without spoiling, but you're gonna have to be honest with them. You're gonna have to be a grown-up. I know that you're only 19. No, she's 19 or 21. She's like, I think she's like 19 or 20. Okay, I know that you're 19 or 20, but even me, who is your age, I'm seeing this and I'm like, I understand that you have secrets, but sometimes you need to be honest, because people, if you tell them the truth, can help you. The third one was 4.25. I honestly had a great time reading it. I was invested. I was having a great time, and I was flying through the book. Fourth book, I think it's Forced Bonds. Yeah, Forced Bonds. 4.5 stars. Really fun time. I really liked it, but I was like, okay, I get that like we can't wrap everything up because it is the 4th out of 6 books, but can we like wrap up this, like a bit of this plot, so that we can have like, sometimes we need closure on certain things to be able to get to the bigger plot points in the book. Like everything else was perfect, but I was like, okay, I need like, maybe let's get closure on certain plot points. Book 5, I was just having a grand old time. I was loving the book. I rated it a 4.75. It wasn't necessarily 5-star just because it really didn't have that 5-star feeling, but it was really close to it. I was loving it. And that one, I feel like the the two, like the second and the fourth book were the ones where I was like, okay, this is dragging out just a little bit, just a teensy tiny bit. But like fifth and sixth were perfect. Fifth was like, I was like, okay, yeah, the plot like the pacing is perfect. I'm loving it. And then five, it was brain chemistry re-altering, you know, like I was having an amazing time. It was a 5-star. I had a full 5-star feeling. I love this series so much, and I think it might be one of my new 5-star series without all, like, I know literally only one of the books is 5 stars. The series itself is a 5-star series just because of the feeling that it gave me, you know? Like, I love the characters and I love the plot line in general, just the books weren't necessarily 5 stars. After that, we have First Time Caller by B.K. Borson. This is my first B.K. Borson book, and I enjoyed it so much that about a week after I read this book, I went and bought a physical copy. This book I finished, I think like Wednesday of like the week that I was in Florida when I was in Miami, and like the Thursday the week after when I went to Topgolf, and before going to Topgolf we went to Barnes. No, after Topgolf we went to Barnes. This was one of the books that I picked up. Like, I loved it so much that I had to buy it. I had to own it. There's just something about the way this book was written, the way that the characters were interacting, the side characters, her daughter, him just being an absolutely perfect man, the setting, the radio show, hearing people's stories. It was how he was, well, I guess this isn't really, well, no, I can't say that because it would be spoiler. Like, just there's just something about this book that was just so perfectly crafted and written and so good. Yeah, speechless. I just loved it so much. I had a great time reading this. After that, we have a 2 for 2, another 5 stars, which is Funny Story by Emily Henry. Guys, I didn't see this coming, but became my second favorite Emily Henry book. My first being Happy Place, of course. Happy Place will probably never be dethroned. Happy Place, my baby, my favorite book of all time. Well, not my favorite book of all time, but it's just that book. I love it so much, but this one is a close second. Like, it was really super close to being my favorite. I fan casted Miles as that one picture of Logan Lerman that I'm going to show you. Like, not any other picture of Logan Lerman, but like how he looks in this picture. This is exactly how I pictured Miles the entire time. Like, the not necessarily like a big beard, but like a bit stubble, the messy hair, like a bit sunburnt. That is exactly how I imagined Miles, and I'm in love with Miles, and I love Daphne, and her ex is a douche and I hate him, and I wish I could reread this. I wish I could read this for the first time, and honestly I shouldn't have waited so long to read this and be afraid of reading it just because a few people didn't like it as much. I said what I said. This book, literally amazing. Emily Henry, I love you. Just, you're amazing and I love you. Then we have Trick Shot by Kayla Gross or Gross. I don't know how to say her name, just know I love her. I love her books. I read Whirlwind by her back in February and I had a great time. I love that book. That book was so fun. And this time I read this one and honestly, it was a fun time. I don't have much to say about it just because it was a quick, fun Christmas novella. I will say, yes, I did say Christmas novella. It was March. I don't know. Honestly, the audiobook was, I love her audiobook for Whirlwind, and the audiobook for this one was available on Libby, so I was kind of like, oh, well, I'm gonna listen to it. And then I ended up binging it in one night while doing work. So it was a fun time. Like, it wasn't necessarily anything like, not breathtaking, but it wasn't anything like perfect, but it was really good. You know, it's like, you know, you just need a good book that you know is gonna be good and fun, and quick, but like, you know, it's not going to be anything amazing. It's not going to be anything great, but it's going to be something good. And that was it. After that, we have With Love from Cold World. This is a book that I literally bought about a week before I read it, and I binged it. I read like 50 pages of it before, the night before the night before we left for Florida. This is a book that takes place in Orlando, and if you didn't know, I've basically grown up going to Orlando for vacation basically every year. Orlando has always felt like, well, I mean, felt like home as well. I know, like, I don't live in Orlando, but like, there's just something about it that like I love so much and makes me feel nostalgic. And you guys know that I'm basically a Disney adult, but like, well, I'm an adult who loves Disney. I'm not a Disney adult because the two are very different things. I'm an adult who loves Disney, not a Disney adult. But like, you guys know I love Disney, and I grew up going to Disney World Orlando. I've gone to Disneyland once, but like Disney World Orlando, and like seeing all of the iconic Orlando things, like the gift, like the kind of like the the knockoff gift shops where like all the knockoff Disney things, like the one with the lizard, the one with the, not the lizard, the wizard, the one with the mermaid. And like this book kind of just felt nostalgic for me. Like I had a great time reading it, and it was it wasn't only because it was it wasn't only because of Florida, but it was just, this book honestly was really surprising. I wasn't expecting it to enjoy it as much as I did. This one was a 4.5 stars, and I love the characters. I will say the name of the male main character caught me off guard. It's Asa Williamson. Asa, like ASA. I don't know how to, Asa, I don't know. But I will say this one was kind of a rivals to lovers, and I was loving it. There's also a bit of forced proximity, and it's just so good. Like, it was really good. I really recommend it. Next, we have a book. Out of all of the books that I read that were like newer reads, I think this one is probably in the top 2. No, this one is in the top 2. No, top 3. Top 3, I forgot about one. And it is Wild Side by Elsie Silver. This one became my favorite Elsie Silver book that she's ever written, that I've ever read. I know I'm missing like 3 books from her, but I've read the entire Chestnut Spring series. I've read this entire series, well, Rose Hill. I read the entire Rose Hill series, and I read the first book out of the Gold Rush Ranch series, and this one is my favorite out of all of them. Reese and Tabitha, I love them. I love Reese. I love how he's kind of like, to the entire world, he's this like kind of like macho like is it WWE? I don't know what exactly, but he's a professional wrestler, but it's like the kind that's fully scripted. I don't know which one is fully scripted, but like I love how to the whole world he's like this tough, amazing wrestler, but in his private life he's kind of like, especially when he's with her nephew, what's his name? Why am I forgetting the nephew's name? Where is the nephew? Where are you? Okay, where? Milo. Sorry, Milo. I love how he was basically a human teddy bear with Milo. He was like this just sweet, amazing, like guardian, not dad, but like he's kind of basically Milo's dad. But he was just amazing with Milo, and I loved it. And I love Tabitha, and I love both of them together. And I love when the FMC kind of doesn't care and continuously argues with the MMC because she's stubborn, and she has a reason for it, but like he also has a reason for his thing. But like I love it so much, and I love them together, and it's just, this one was the most perfect Elsie Silver book I've ever read. Also, quickly I will say, I know I forgot one of the books. It's because one of the books that I forgot that I read it in March, not April. After that, we have The Breakup Tour by Austin Sigmund Broca and Emily Wibberley. Honestly, this was a fun time. This one is a book based off of, well, I don't know if it's actually based off of, but it really had a Taylor Swift vibe to it, because basically this girl, Riley Wynn, after breaking up with her ex-husband, I don't know what his name is, I forgot what the ex-husband's name is, but like I kind of imagined a bit of a Jake Gyllenhaal and John Mayer type, like her ex-husband. Basically she puts out this album where every single song is about one of her exes, and then one of her songs is written about her ex from college that she hasn't seen in 10 years, who was like kind of the love of her life back then. But her ex-husband, who's a douche, is like, oh yeah, the song's about me. So then she's like, she reaches out to her, well, she goes sees her ex from college, who she hasn't seen in 10 years, and it's like, hey, so would you want to go on tour with me and pretend that you are, no, would you be able to go online and say that you are my ex that I wrote this song about, because I don't want the other ex to have such a good reputation, because this song is actually like, he has a good he's kind of like the good ex kind of ish. And he's like, no, and then he randomly is like, okay, well, I'll go on tour if you pay me, because he needs money for his family's nursing home that they own. Anyways, I had a really good time. It really felt Taylor Swift inspired, and I really loved the second chance romance between the two. Second chance romance isn't one of my favorite tropes, so that's also one of the reasons why it was a fun time, not a great time. But I still really enjoyed it. After that, we have a book that I really didn't like, and it is A Fire in the Sky by Sophie Jordan. I've never read any other Sophie Jordan books, but I just know that this one I really didn't like, and I most likely will never read any of, for now I'm thinking I might not read any of her other books. This one is a 2.25 stars, and I never fully got into the book. I kind of forced my way through the book because I cannot DNF it, and it was my book club's book of the month, which, by the way, go join my book club on Fable down below because our book of the month is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. But basically, this book was I just didn't have a great time reading it. There were some moments where I was like, okay, I can see it picking up. I actually kind of like this now. And then there'd be a random plot twist that would show up, and then that plot twist would kind of really come out of nowhere. No foreshadowing at all. And it kind of felt like randomly adding world building about certain things without really introducing it. It's just like, oh yeah, you thought that this was this way, well then boom, it's actually not true, and this is how it's supposed to be. This is how it really is, but it's a secret and nobody knows it. So it kind of felt like the way I will say it is kind of felt like, to me when I was reading it, lazy plot writing, lazy like world building of kind of like, well, I want to have this happen, but I don't know how I'm gonna do it, so I'm just gonna put it in a plot twist. So I really didn't enjoy it. Then I read a random novella called Dude in Distress by Helena Hunting. Honestly, the only reason why I picked it up is because I was looking through the Audible Plus catalog, and I saw that this one was narrated by Jacob Morgan, who does the audiobooks by Lights Out, who narrates the Lights Out audiobook, he does the main character voice, and I loved that audiobook and I loved him in that, so I was like, oh well, I'm gonna listen to it because it's a Jacob Morgan audiobook. Honestly, it was a good audiobook. The audiobook itself, I had a fun listening experience. The book, it was I think something like 40 something or 80 something pages. It wasn't anything great. It was 3.25 stars for me, but not a bad 3.25 stars. It's not oh, I didn't enjoy it. It's just I didn't have enough time to enjoy it. It was so short that I found out after that, I thought it was a novella just randomly. It's a novella that is some point in a series. There's 5 books before it. So that is my bad, the rating. So it is my bad for not knowing that, because I was like, oh yeah, I guess this is a fun time. I mean, it's a fun little novella. I guess she wrote a short story. No, it's because all these characters, we know them in other books, but I don't know them. I don't know the backstory, and I don't know anything. So that is my bad. Sorry. After that, we have one of my second out of the 3, and there's no order to them. There's no ranking, but my second out of the 3 favorite books that made it onto my favorite books of all time list in this whole video month of reading, and it is Unloved by Peyton Corrine. So basically this book, the female main character, I think was written after me. I think she wrote for me because I am her, she is me, and at one point in the book, basically at the start of the book, she is dating kind of dating off and on this guy who's really toxic and basically emotionally abusive with her, and she's in that relationship, and that of her I relate to a lot. I had an ex like that, and I related to her a lot. The way she saw things and just her in general, I loved, and the academic validation as well, I relate to so much, and I just loved her so much. And I also loved Freddie, her love interest. I love how obsessed he was with her. Since the first time he met her, he is obsessed with her. Now, he thought he met her at one point. Turns out they'd met before, but I loved it. I loved this book. I didn't unlove it. I loved it. See what I did? But yeah, also you will see in this video, you will see that there was often books that I read for some reason that there was a toxic ex before, the girl has a toxic ex and then starts dating this guy who's actually treating her right and amazingly and is perfect for her. Then we have a reread of probably my favorite book of all time, Deep End by Ali Hazelwood. This one I did a audio reread. I know people don't like the sprayed edges that much. I love the sprayed edges. The way that I love this book is not casual at all, is not nonchalant. I genuinely would be happy if I could only reread this one book over and over and over again. Genuinely, I reread it I read it first about a week after it came out in February. and then I read it in mid-March. Tell me why I've been rereading scenes from the chapters in this book recently, because I just miss it so much. There's chapters and quotes from the book that I hear as the audiobook in my mind that replay on and on and on again. Without spoiling, is there a quote? I'm trying to find it. Okay, I guess this doesn't really like spoil anything, but I will say in this way, the main character is Lucas Bloomqvist. I don't know. He's Swedish. And the narrator has a Swedish accent when reading it, but like his voice is breaking in that scene. And the quote that goes, "From the very start, you had all the power. From the very start, I was in the palm of your hand." With his voice, like he's almost crying. Tell me why I was crying listening to that scene. I was crying so much. And I love these. I love these two characters so much. Scarlett Vandermeer, I love her. And I will say, she has brown eyes and brown hair like me. So maybe I'm his type. He is like the swimming, like one of the best swimmers in the world. And she's a NCAA diver. And they're just perfect together. And I want to be with him. He is probably my top book boyfriend, like romance book boyfriend, not fantasy. Fantasy, we all know who it is, Slade Ravenger. But just this book, I know I'm ranting, okay? I know I'm ranting, but this book is genuinely if someone asked me what my favorite book of all time was, this book would be it. And I know that people didn't love it as much. Some people. I did. Ali Hazelwood, I love you. And I will, if you I wish I had the money to buy all the special editions, and just know I love you, Ali Hazelwood. I would give you all my money if I could. But yeah, end of rant. Then we have Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. This is my first Kennedy Ryan book I've ever read, actually, and I really liked it. It was a 4.5 stars. Now the reason why it wasn't a full 5 stars for me was because and I didn't know, like I knew there was that kind of, but like there wasn't full trigger warning list. There is fully there's scenes of domestic abuse and RAPE in this book. So I will say, if those are things that could trigger you, do not read this book. Do not read this book. Or skip all those chapters, because at the start of the relationship, the girl, she is thinking about maybe breaking up with this guy, and then she gets pregnant with his baby. And then it skips to a while, and then she has the baby, and he starts, for a while he wasn't super like, he was, you know, a good boyfriend, and then okay, and then starts being abusive. So it's very intense. So I would say don't read it if that could maybe potentially trigger you. But I did really love this book. I did really enjoy it, but it was just very dark at times, so it wasn't able to be a full 5 stars because I was too depressed. After that, we have a lighter book, which is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. You guys know that I'm an Abby Jimenez stan. This one was a 4.75 out of 5. I know I've rated a few of her books lower than 5 and a few of her book 5 stars. This one wasn't my favorite of hers, but it wasn't my least favorite, you know? I think it's still pretty close to a 5 star and pretty high in my ranking of her books. Now, it will most likely go lower when I read Say You'll Remember Me, when I finish it, because I'm about 50% through it right now, and it's becoming probably my favorite Abby Jimenez book of all time. I love her. But yeah, it was so great. I had a great time. And in this one, she also has a toxic ex, and I just loved this book so much. I had such a great time. I loved both of our characters. I loved this cast of side characters that we saw, and I love the small town. I love that most of her books either take place in or have a part of the book in Minnesota, because I have family there, and I love it so much. And like, there's sometimes in scenes, I won't say where because I don't want to like dox, is that my family? Is that the word? Dox my family. But I will say there are some scenes, like sometimes they'll mention places that, like, because basically my grandmother is American, but sometimes they'll mention places that either like my grandma's from, or I remember going as a kid when we visit our family there. So it's fun. After that, I read Rule of a Kingdom by Rena Kent. This is a 40-page novella that takes place right before the Kingdom duet, but it's kind of a part of the Kingdom duet. It's this like 40 pages of the scenes that take place right before the first scene in Reign of a King. And honestly, I gave it a 4 star because I know like usually I don't rate novellas that are like 40 pages that high, but this one I feel like it really like gave a good background for the duology, and it really helped with understanding why our characters act the way that they act. And honestly, I will say I would have hated Jonathan a lot more. Not that I hated him, but I would have hated him in Reign of a King if I hadn't read Rule of a Kingdom, because I didn't like him in the one with like Cruel King, whatever. I think it's called Royal Elite. I didn't like him in the Royal Elite like series because he's kind of like, it seems like he's a bad dad and like the mom was really a good mom. But in the first scenes of that one, you get to actually see him being a good dad to his kids when they were young. And it's just, you get to see, it kind of gives him a bit of a redemption arc before you see him be the way that he is in Reign of a King. After that, I read Reign of a King by Rena Kent. This one was like 4 stars. I love Jonathan King. My man. I love him. I had a great time reading this book. I love a good Rena Kent book. I feel like she has really good books, really addictive writing, because tell me why I read those 3 books in like within 48 hours, less than 48 hours actually. It was like more like within 36 hours I read that duology plus the little novella. I had so much fun reading it. And then I read the second book in the duology, which I loved even more, which is Rise of a Queen. The 3 words I will describe this book by is gaslight, girl boss, gatekeep. I loved it so much. I love her. She is a girl boss. I rated it 4.25 and I just had a great time reading it. I definitely want to go read now the Royal Elite epilogue to then be able to continue on to whatever series. I saw that my Hoopla has a lot of her audiobooks on there. Like I think the like Blood of a Monster series is on there, and that's what I'm really excited for. And I'm really like, I cannot wait to get to the God of Malice, God of whatever series, like Legacy of Gods series. I cannot wait to get to that one. After that, I read Training the Heart by Paisley Hope, which is the second book in the Silver Pines series. This one was a 4.5 star read. I read the first one back in February and I rated it a 4 stars, and this one is definitely my favorite so far in the series. It's kind of like he employs her to take care of his horses because she's just the best. She would be the best at the job, but she has kind of an unconventional approach, which he prefers the traditional approach, and he kind of doesn't like her because she's more of like the everybody likes her, a bit all over the place. Just yeah, like, and he's very like, he hates like when people aren't punctual. He's grumpy, like think of like the grumpy cowboy in any like small town cowboy book. He's that. And then like he's also her boss, and I love this book. Honestly, it was so fun. It had me giggling and kicking my feet and blushing the entire time, and I just had a great time reading it. And also what was I gonna say? But yeah, I also loved the time. At one point in the book it does become forced proximity, and those scenes had me kicking my feet and giggling like I said earlier, but like I love them. It was such a fun book. I love a good cowboy romance. Then we have the last out of the 3 God tier books that I had, like new God tier book that I had this month, and that is Before Dawn by Jada West. This one was an arc that the author sent to me. Me and Jada have been mutuals since I think November or October on TikTok, and we became mutuals on Instagram back in I think January. I don't know actually. If you're watching this, because I know she's watched some of my viewed videos, hi Jada, I love you. I love your books. You are one of the best romance writers of our generation, and I love your books and I love you. But basically this book was amazing. It was absolutely perfect. There's not one thing I would have changed. I loved both of our main characters, Abigail, Mikkel. I don't think you pronounce his name Mikkel. I don't know. I think it's Mikkeel. Actually, I might be completely wrong. I will say I am dyslexic, so I forget how to spell words sometimes. Sometimes no. I basically every day forget to. Okay, his name, because I forgot how to spell it. Where is it? Mikkeel. So Mikkel. I loved him. I want him to marry me. And I mean, he's a billionaire, so he can spoil me if he wants to. Like, what? But you know, I absolutely adored this book. I loved how he paid attention to the little things he remembered. At one point, he drives for hours to try to find a chocolate cake and Chipotle, I think, in the middle of the night, because I can't remember if it was because she had I remember the scene, but I don't remember if it was because of her period or she was having a panic attack, I think it was because she was having a lot of anxiety, and he wanted to take care of her, and he's always bringing her flowers, and he remembered the flowers that she loves, and he's just perfect for her. And I did relate to her a lot. She had, like, Abigail has anxiety, and I feel like her anxiety representation, her anxiety was so realistic to, well, I don't know, like, I won't speak on anybody else's type of anxiety, because anxiety is different for a lot of people, but hers is very similar to mine, and I related to her a lot, and also related to her experiences with her past toxic relationship. I loved her so much. Also, she's a book girly. I love a book girly. I'm a book girly. But yeah, no, I love this book so much. It was perfect. It was just, yeah. Sorry, I just tend to rant when I talk about books that I love. Then we have the last of the 2 rereads, which is Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Mass. Wait, I have the book with me. This one right here. This book, amazing. I love it. It's hilarious. If you haven't read it already, you need to, because the characters, the main character, her inner monologue is hilarious. She's basically the most Gen Z out of all Gen Z people. She is just, at one point I think her inner monologue is like, a man started speaking, so I stopped listening, because he was speaking like misogynistic things, I think. And I was like, so real, girl. I loved her. And I will say I recommend listening to the audiobook, because it makes it even funnier, because at one point, basically, like, there's this thing called the Crucible that she has to run, and like, since they're Spartan, they can live longer without like water and food and stuff like that. They go like 2 weeks with like barely any sleep, without food, water, and like towards the end she's always super tired, and the audiobook narrator does like the drowsy tired voice so well, and the narrator is just so funny. And it's just, this book, one of the best fantasy books to read if you want a good time. Like, if you don't want to necessarily like read like a perfectly crafted world building, but you want to have a book that you're gonna love and you're gonna have a great time reading, and just you're gonna laugh, this one is it. This one is it for you. And then after that, we have my last book of the month, which was Reckless by Lauren Roberts. Unpopular opinion, I preferred Reckless over Powerless. I said what I said because I guess it's probably because this one focuses a bit more on the romance aspect. I can't say more without spoiling, but just know that this book is a bit more heavier on the romance than the fantasy, which I loved personally. And that ending, jaw drop. I loved it so much. I love this book. This was a 4.7. Wait, no, I forgot a book. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to speak about it after. This one was a 4.75 rating. Out of the 3 books, including, like, by books I'm including the novella that are out so far in the series, this is my favorite. But I'm not saying that I'm preferring it over Fearless, which is releasing tomorrow, which is releasing the day that this video is releasing the day that the book is releasing. I haven't read that yet, so I don't know if I'm gonna like it or not. But I have so many theories. I can't like talk about them because I'm gonna spoil you guys, but just know that I'm really excited for tomorrow, and I'm hoping that I can get my hands on a library copy tomorrow, and I'm considering staying up at midnight to see at what time the book goes up. But yeah, I'm so excited for this, and I loved it so much. Okay, the actual last book I read that I didn't read as the last book, but I forgot to talk about it, is The Legacy by Elle Kennedy. Guys, I finally finished the Off-Campus series. This book was a 4.25 out of 5. Because it wasn't necessarily really a book, it was 4 novellas into one book that is a novella for each couple in the Off-Campus series, and like a big life event after like the end of the series. Like, I think there's an engagement, a surprise, like literally, like that's what it says in the book, like that's the tagline of the book, so I'm not spoiling you guys, you know, before going in. It's, I think, an elopement, a wedding, a surprise pregnancy, and an engagement. But this book was so fun. I loved it so much, honestly. No, it was a honeymoon, not a wedding. It was a honeymoon, not a wedding. The wedding takes place in the book, but that couple's, it's their honeymoon, not their wedding. But yeah, no, I had a great time reading this book. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing, and I have all my other socials down below if you want to follow me elsewhere. And sorry I'm making this intro real quick. My camera's about to die, but I love you guys, and I will see you next time I upload. Bye!